Morning and welcome to a new track guide video. So this is what I do on Mount Panorama. It's my favourite track, absolutely love it. The Ferrari's not the easiest to drive around here. You have to do a few things different to other cars. So let's get started. Right, so assuming you've got round the last corner okay. Last turn and first turn, very similar, 90-degree corners. So I brake here just before the 50, almost halfway between the 100 and the 50, but a little bit further. If the tyres are cold, you might have to brake a little earlier to make it, because it takes a couple of laps to warm the tyres up here. So, second gear corner, turning in sort of a middle apex. Get on the power as early as you can and open up the steering. Let the right wheels go over to the green, and from there you have a lovely little smooth downslope to exit there. So you use all the track on the exit. And then coming up then, what's turn 2? So here I'm dropping into third, and my braking point is around here. About halfway between the 100 and the 50, maybe a little closer to the 50. And then when you're turning in, and you get on the power, around here, don't go up onto this curb, because if you're touching this curb a little bit, it makes the TC go nuts, and you'll just hear one wheel start to spin up, and it can pull you around, and if it doesn't do that, you're going to lose loads of acceleration on the exit. You're going to lose lots of speed. And then on the exit here, be careful giving too much steering input. If you touch this curb just a tiny bit, it can make the outside wheel spin, and you can end up in the wall on the right. Most of the time, I'll open up the steering as soon as possible so that I actually go over this and use the whole thing on the exit. But just be careful of any sharp steering input while you're accelerating there. So, going up through here, you're going to end up in fourth gear. All I'll do is I'll do a very slight lift here, and then straighten the steering up, giving very little steering input, because you want to be careful braking, because you're going to be braking hard for here. Then the Ferrari, I'll do this in second. So come in and hug this inside wall, almost to the point of touching the mirror. And then if you get a real good exit, if you've got a high-ish downforce setup, you should be able to go flat out through the next few turns. Going flat out here is nice and easy. You'll be in third, possibly shifted up to fourth just as you get to here. I'm usually in fourth about here. And this next left, come over the crest like that, come over here, and then turn in really sharply. Try not to go over that painted line too much, because at the side of the track, it cambers outwards, and that's for water drainage, because this is a regular road in real life. And same here, you can stay flat here, although I'm on quite a low wing setting, so I usually have to do a slight lift here. But cars like the McLaren are super easy to stay flat through here, even on one wing. It's amazing to go through here in a McLaren. So yeah, perfectly safe to touch the rumble strip here, hugging the inside, hugging the right side wall, and then I'll come up here and I'll clip this just a little bit. It'll slightly upset the car, but it'll give you that little bit of turn, and it could give it a nice little jolt of steering. And then don't come over this rumble strip from here. If you hit this point, it causes the car to do an awkward bounce. So what I'll do, I'm aiming to just touch this after that, so along here, just kind of smoothly. You'll have a little bit of a bump on the exit of there, and then if you've nailed it right, then just touching the black part of the rumble strip here is safe, but don't go too much over it and get off it when after you've touched it, because that can end up sending you into this wall. So braking point for here, usually where the road starts to go dark, I'm braking somewhere around here. And so I'll brake, drop it into from 5th to 4th, just coast then, let it coast around here. At this point, straighten the steering, brake, drop into 3rd, let go of the brake, so that you're then coasting over this curve. Then straighten again and brake, drop it into 2nd for this little S here. It's really important you're not giving steering input and a hard brake input at the same time coming down here. That's how many people get out of shape and end up in the wall on either side. But I'll show you, I'll do a few flying laps to show you exactly how I do it. So this bit, this right left S here, the thing that I love about this is that you're in 2nd, you're coming in nice and tight, you know, you're hugging this inside wall, and I don't just aim for the apex there and try and turn. If you throw the car to the right fairly hard, this little crest that I'm parked on now, if you give it a little tap of brake and yank the steering left, the car very slightly leaves the ground and it will pivot sharply left while it's just left the ground slightly. Now when it hits the ground again, you'll feel like you're going to hit this inside wall on the left because you will be pointing at it. But by the time you actually grip, you'll have passed that and you'll be able to get on full throttle and have a nice exit. It feels absolutely epic when you've done it. So it's a Scandinavian flick basically, and I love doing this corner like that. It's probably my favourite part of this track. So if you've done that right, you're coming along to the last part of the downhill. Once I get to here, I'm lifting off. I'm not braking yet because I'm still steering. As soon as I'm in a straight line about here, just aiming straight, this is when I brake. I don't change up to 4th because there's no real point. You're in 4th for such a short period of time. There's no point in doing 2 extra gear changes, you know, an up and a down. So I'll just let it rev in 3rd and then bang it straight down into 1st to get maximum engine braking for turning into here. But yeah, when you're steering right, don't apply loads of brake, just let the car coast, because this is another wall that you'll see many cars hitting in a race. And then for this one, just get on right on the inside, as close as you can to this wall, and floor it around here, or maybe just a tiny bit sooner. And the Ferrari, you're doing this in 1st. McLaren and most other cars, you're doing it in 2nd. The AMG may be a 1st gear corner for this. Maybe, I'm not sure. The Lambo might be also better in 1st here. I'm not 100% sure about that. But the Ferrari, it bogs down too much in 2nd. So you need 1st to pull out with this. So, from here. Come down here. And then one of the most difficult corners of the track is the next left-hander that comes up. You'll be going flat out along here through this king. I'll start braking around here, just past the halfway mark to the 100. Now this left-hander, also we've nicknamed it Colin's Corner because Colin used to quite enjoy going off to the left here. When you're turning in, if it's a 2nd gear corner in this, McLaren is slightly better in 3rd because you're doing one less up change. So if you turn in too early for this, what you're doing is you'll compromise your exit on the right hand side, the right hand part of the turn. So you need to turn in a little later than you think. It's a late apex for this corner. If you turn in too early and then get on the throttle, you might find that you've got a lift for the exit of the right-hander, because the left side will be coming up pretty fast. The important thing is to not brake hard when you're turning left. I'll brake hard in a straight line, and then I'll just release to just do a small trail brake to help to turn into this corner. Get on the power, you know, as soon as possible. So if you do get that wrong, you end up coming wide here. You end up on this curb, try not to do anything more than this. If you go over it, it's really bumpy, and it's another part that can end up sending you into the opposite wall. And then final corner, very similar to the first corner really, less of a run off on the exit, but I'll brake somewhere between the 100 and the 50 around here. And turn in, don't go over that curb, don't even touch it, it's quite steep and it can cause the car to do an awkward bounce. So get as close as you can to it and get on the power as early as you can. And try not to go any more on this curb than just touching it, because this is also bumpy. I'm going to return to the pit. I'll do flying laps. Okay, right, let's go and do a few laps and try and get out the wall. Oh, another first gear corner for the bottom of the back of the mountain might be the Aston. I'm sure that's better in first. The Aston also, I think, is a little bit quicker in first on this next sharp left-hander. In the Ferrari, it feels like it's a slow exit in second doing that, but it's not. If you do a few laps in first and then do it in second, you'll see that you'll gain time. There's that little flick. That little flick there feels excellent. This next lap, usually it's lap 3 where you start to feel like the car's performing better, because of this long straight, the tyres cool on the way down. That's why it takes a bit longer to get up to temperature. See how I went over the white line there and it pulled me to the outside. Tyre pressures are coming up nicely now. Next lap should be alright. There we go. Half reasonable flying lap. So that's pretty much it. That's how I do Panorama in the Ferrari. Got any questions or anything, or want to know anything? Just fire away in the comments, and I'll be doing another one next week. I'm not sure what the track will be, but yeah, I'll be on next week. So anyone that watches the streams, I'll be streaming the race tonight with SSRI. And that's it. So thanks very much for watching. See you soon. Bye.